Hey, what is up, ghouls, gamers, and goblins? PotatoBagel here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I make videos about Pokemon games from a game dev perspective.
And I use the term loosely.
Across my analysis, discussion, and even my own addendum videos, I'd like to think that I nailed at least some half-decent attempts at covering some behind-the-scenes discussions, things that we typically as players may overlook or think is simply not worth the time. However, my videos have always been made with the intention of fixing, so to speak. I look at these games or ideas, lay out the pieces, and put them back together in a way that makes more sense than the original. What I've yet to do, until now, is look at a game, break it down, and analyze each of its pieces as is. So with that, let's explore and figure out what makes Pokemon Conquest a genius game. Now, for those that don't know what Pokemon Conquest is, it's basically a crossover between Pokemon and the Samurai Warriors games. It's more so a crossover of the IPs rather than some established universe, but it released for the DS during Pokemon Generation 5. And that is the only explanation for the game you will ever need, as the sheer amount of aura that comes from Oda Nobunaga and his shiny Rayquaza can handle the rest. As for the gameplay, that can be broken down really into two main modes: the map and the battles. The map is where all the management happens, as well as the dialogue. It consists of 17 type divided kingdoms, because fairy type wasn't a thing yet. And because this is a Pokemon game, separating the kingdoms based on type makes sense, given the nature of the mainline gym challenge. The only other alternative would be the egg groups, but we haven't had any form of direct information about egg groups since the Generation 2 menu sprites. Now, the gameplay loop of the map portion consists of, anything managerial. Within any owned kingdom, you have your troops, warriors, and warlords interact with the different locales. There are shops to buy items, mines to earn money, and various other places to trigger battles. The battles can trigger in one of two ways. A group of warriors goes into a kingdom's wild area, for lack of a better word, or a group of warriors challenges another kingdom to battle, where the winner keeps the kingdom. The way the battles play out is that each warrior sends out their corresponding Pokemon, singular, into a tile-based map. The player gets control of their own army and can individually choose how their warriors take their turns. Because each unit consists of a warrior and Pokemon, the actions are reflective of that. The Pokemon move and attack, while the warriors use their warrior skills and any items that are, possible to be used. So you can move, attack, with the warrior using bonus actions, as well as, the Pokemon's ability triggering certain reactions to the battle. Yeah, this sounds like D&D. Granted, it's streamlined a little, but this is very much Dungeons & Dragons. And that's the shit. Not like the coolest thing ever, this shit, but like the substance of this video. It's the meat of the video. This is what I want to talk about. You have these little pieces that you take apart, look at it, and go, hey, wait a minute. This is kind of like something else. But they made it work in a way that's disguised. And that's really cool. You have this battling system where the players are more tactical, having to take into account a variety of actions, such as, the skills and items, plus a Pokemon singular move. And wait, hold on. Move? Singular? Yeah, each Pokemon only uses a single move. Ever. Every single EV you get will only use Quick Attack. But, and this is a big but, every single attack has been changed to fit the tile-based arenas. Fire Blast hits foes in the shape of, the actual kanji for the move. Discharge is an AoE centered around the user, and Rock Wrecker is a bolt-action sniper rifle that takes an extra turn to recharge. To be honest, that's a lot of work, translating the traditional Pokemon formula to something like this. They nailed it, and it's awesome. Now, this is an RPG after all, which means there's going to be numbers. However, the numbers are the least important part of the construction of this game. I mean, in battle, you know, the moves still make accuracy checks and are affected by the type matchup just like any other Pokemon game. Stuff like that is a given. But what makes the numbers unique is where they are. You see, Pokemon aren't the only ones with numbers. The Warriors have them too. And when I say this, you know, it's just like D&D, I wasn't joking. Like, saving throws happen. Warriors have power, wisdom, charisma, and capacity. Those first three are used in various situations on the map, you know, like where high power results in better results from mining and charisma gives you better selling prices. Capacity is the limit of Pokemon a given warrior can link with, and this is a segue. Linking with the Pokemon is effectively the act of catching it, but the link itself is limited, which basically creates a level cap. Each warrior has a perfect link, you know, a 100% cap with certain Pokemon. The player, not you, but the character of the player, has a perfect link with Eevee and its evolutions, and Arceus too, but that's not important. When these Pokemon are acquired, a little dialogue plays out, and occasionally the Pokemon itself will appear in various dialogues in the future. Now, going back to the link system itself, it is a standard for levels. As your link progresses, your Pokemon stats get higher and they potentially evolve. Aside from the item requirements, most standard evolutions actually have a stat requirement. You can't just power up a Charmander and expect it to evolve into Charmeleon. You actually need to keep in mind its attack stat, which needs to reach a certain value in order to evolve. I don't think I've ever seen a monster catcher, you know, use an evolution system that requires that niche and precise values before. Okay, now when I say the narrative aspects, I don't mean the story, I mean the lore and in-universe ideas behind the gameplay functions. You know, I just talked about the link system, and that's because Pokeballs aren't a thing yet, and the link represents a bond. The stronger the bond, the easier it is to evolve a Pokemon, and forging a strong bond with the right Pokemon causes the warrior to evolve too. Yeah, evolution is two-way, which makes sense. When warriors evolve, they get better skills and their stats go up, and in most cases have an expanded repertoire of Pokemon they have good links with. And it's a sign of these people growing alongside their Pokemon, their specific singular Pokemon partner, in a symbiotic way, where they both reach their true potential. And if that isn't the most Digimon thing I've ever heard, then I have no idea what is. And that brings me to the point of this video. The real point. There exists a lot of games out there, like at least 3. And by breaking them down like this, 1, you draw parallels to other games, but 2, you get to understand how a game works in its construction. It's like putting together a puzzle, but you can actually mix and match the pieces from other puzzles. Conquest takes a standard tactical RPG, slaps in the necessary Pokemon elements, and reworks them to fit the aesthetic of a Samurai Warriors game. And the execution of it is genius. And so, I ask you, how would you utilize these puzzle pieces in your own game? Let me know in the comments. While you're there, subscribe. I'm 1-0 away from 1,000 subs in actual monetization on the platform, so it helps. And thanks for watching. And as always, stay frothy.